watching videos as a kid because it's been going on for so long, and one day I was like, you know, when I was a kid, I'm like, I have to do that race. Had an awesome experience, learnt a lot. It was just surreal to be there and racing, you know. I arrived a little bit earlier, so I got to see some of the track and everything like that.
You got to walk the track.
Got to walk the track, and I actually got to ride some bits of the track, which was kind of cool, like some certain hills. Not everything, that's for sure, but yeah, which was such an epic experience to be able to ride everything. And a lot of that stuff in the quarry's got a lot of traction, you know. It's in the forest that you really notice that it's slippery, and you don't see much of that on the videos and stuff.
Right, in the race you don't see all of it when you see, you know, some of the helmet cam footage from the riders.
Yeah.
That's when you're like riding along these cliffs, it seems.
Yeah.
So like if you make a mistake,
yes,
things go horribly wrong.
Yeah, there's no line for error sometimes, and the thing is with Erzberg, it's like a 4-hour race, so it's people will take you out, you know, like it's bar bashing.
Yeah.
It's brutal. They'll cut in front of you, so when you come across, when you're wait, you know, if you see the hill, you just got to go. You can't afford to just wait there and be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna lose your turn, and you know, there's a lot of that goes on. It's just such a cool event, though. Like.
So having watched it for all those years, you know, and we all watch it on TV, and it looks gnarly and crazy, the crazy uphills, and I think for me it would be the crazier downhills.
Yeah.
Was it, you know, everything you expected, or was it harder?
It was everything I expected. I knew it was going to be really, really hard, and I walked some of those downhills, and that had me really worried. Some of the downs, I'm not a huge fan of super steep downhills, but when it come to race day, I just rode it, you know. I think those little things go out the window. When you're on the bike, it's just different to when you're walking it.
Yeah.
And when you're in race mode, you just want to get it done. You don't care about the consequences. So I was hitting lines, different things, just to get. I think I was just running on adrenaline.
What do you think was the hardest section?
Definitely Carl's diner. Yeah.
Dinner,
diner.
I don't know.
Whatever it is. Yeah, I found that was like, I was pretty good halfway through that, and then I just hit a wall, and I knew if I can get through this, I'll just really focus on, you know, getting through Carl's dinner. I knew what was after it. I knew there was a sort of a fun transit section because I rode it on the bicycles the day before. So I knew if I get out of there and I get to that transit section, I'm gonna have a good, like, recover a little bit more, which I did. And that was just before Green Hell, so I knew I had to get some energy before that.
Yeah, it seems like the racers the last couple of years has been won at Green Hell. Whoever can make it clean.
Yeah, I think that's the make or break for a lot of riders, that hill.
And how'd you end up?
Yeah, so when I first arrived at Green Hell, I noticed, you know, there's a few riders in front of me trying many attempts. I hadn't walked that section or anything like that, so I was just coming into it pretty blind. We had to set up on a bit of an angle. I waited my turn, so I was maybe waiting there for maybe 4 minutes, and I just had one go at it and managed to get to the bike up to the next section. So I was lucky I didn't have to come back down and keep trying. So
right, so you got up to that point, and then you have to sort of, if I remember right, it like goes to the left.
Goes to the left, yeah. So obviously that's not very rideable. So getting off the bike and just being smart and not panicking.
Right.
Because any small movement, you're gonna waste, like, any sort of little mistake. The front end washes out or the rear end drops out of line. You're gonna be wrestling that bike for ages. So I just took my time, got help. So I got to the next part and got help from one of the riders whose bike broke down, Theodore. So he was there really helped me get up that hill, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was hard work. But it was such a cool feeling. The crowd was just there, getting me pumped. It was like, you know, such an amazing feeling to get up the top of that and then get to the next section.
It was great. So when you got to the top, nobody gave you any gasoline to drink?
No, I was lucky enough to have. Oh, some Australians were there, so they helped out with some water. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, no gasoline. Poor Billy.
I think it made him faster.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it really sort of.
He was really angry then.
It ticked him off, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Which, yeah, that's fair enough. He would be freaking. Especially when you're like that, you know, in the race, you just want to drink, you know, like you're that thirsty. Oh, in Carl's dinner, I was asking people on the on the sideline, do you have any water? You know, that's what it's like. You just take water from anybody.
Sure, yeah. You're in survival mode.
You're in survival mode, that's the thing.
So Erzberg was a 4-hour race, you know, and how do you find it compares to Romaniacs?
Well, yeah, I love the 4 hours is like a perfect amount of time, you know. It's a good short, I mean, it's only a 30k loop, I think, Erzberg.
Yeah.
So 4 hours, you know, you can just give it your all. I had a heart rate monitor on just to record my heart rate, and it was in the red the whole 4 hours. So Romaniacs is just, it's just totally different. You know, it's just such a long time on the bike, day after day. I think it's definitely more exhausting, Romaniacs.
So every day it's a snowball effect. Every
Yeah.
day it gets harder.
It gets harder and harder, and they test you. They have Romaniacs. You have a rider meeting at 10 o'clock at night time, and they tell you what's going on for the next day. So all the riders have to go there at 10. By the time you get out of there, it's 12 o'clock at night. You have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, try and eat as much breakfast as you can, and just because you need the energy for that day.
And does the trail get progressively harder every day?
Depends. Sometimes they will do some crazy things. They'll make you do a really, really hard section in the first kilometre, so you're not even warmed up, and they will just punish you. You know, gold class was just next level in 2018. I think, well, obviously they said it was by far the hardest year because of all the rain. So I was definitely in the yeah, it definitely made it very, very hard.
Yeah, tough year to do it for your first try.
I think so, yeah. If it was dry conditions, I reckon it would have been really good, really good.
You gonna do it again?
Yeah, I'll do it again. Yeah, I've got to do it again. Yeah, I want to do it. Can't let it beat you.
Yeah. What do you plan on doing any more of the West Series for this year?
So there's one in Germany called Getsen Enduro.
Sure.
I would like to try that one. I want to do at least a few West Series a year. You know, Sea to Sky in September. It's always a really good race. And obviously there's plenty of other events, but I think the West Series is obviously kicking off really strong. So at least you go, like if you go to one event, the next year you have more experience.
Right,
so,
you have more experience,
yeah,
you know what to expect.
You know what to expect. So now I've done Romaniacs and Erzberg, so now I know what to train for, and I think that helps for sure.
And how do you feel coming into it as a privateer versus the guys that have all the team support? Do you think it's possible to win as a privateer?
It makes it hard for sure. Like obviously the factory riders have a lot more support. You know, they get a lot more help along the way with in the actual event. You know, there's always a team of riders helping them out somewhere along the track if they need it. So, you know, it's no excuses though. Like, you know, I think it's just a learning thing. The more experience you do, and you hard work will pay off.